And so after approaching Mrs. Buchanan with a letter ostensibly written by Victor Lord, you'd reached the end of your rope, is that correct?
That's right. She wouldn't budge.
And that's when Mitch Lawrence showed up from California, correct? He'd heard of your dilemma. Now, how did he fit into this campaign of yours?
Well, he made suggestions. He coached me on how to talk to Viki, and he did some research.
And that's when he discovered the woman Nicole Smith
was seeing your brother.
For the record, that is Harry O'Neill.
Yes, and then we pieced everything together, and then, unbeknownst to me, he took a letter that my father, Victor Lord, had written, and he put it inside the program folder of the 50th anniversary banner. And after that, things moved pretty fast.
They certainly did.
Until he went too far.
And how did he do that?
He wrote, or shall I say, he forged a letter from Nicole Smith to Viki.
Oh, why would he do that?
To push her over the edge. And to my knowledge, he has at least since then he's written one letter, maybe even two.
Your Honor, I would like to draw the court's attention to Prosecution Exhibit D. Is this one of the letters?
Harry. Oh, God. Harry. He has to know. He has to know.
Lord Manning, Jensen speaking.
Mr. O'Neill, please.
Hold on a minute. I'll see if he's here. I'm sorry he's not in. Any message?
Yes. Tell him Victoria Buchanan called. And I would like him to come to Landfair, my house. Just as soon as he gets this message, it's very urgent that I speak to him, please.
Sure thing, Mrs. Buchanan.
Thanks.
But you did everything in your power to persuade Mitch not to send those notes. Is that right?
Yes, I did, and he promised me he would not send them.
And that last one, you never saw it. Is that correct?
No. Because believe me, if I had, Harry O'Neill would never have gone to that room at 432 Jameson Street. Well, aren't you the handsome one?
How do you like the outfit?
I like it a lot. Is it new?
You are looking at Harry O'Neill's first summer suit ever.
Well, I think it's about time. You're management, right? You got to look the part.
Mm-hmm.
Except why do I get the idea that you're not all dolled up for a business meeting?
Because I am going to dinner with Nicole Smith.
Nicole?
Yes.
Where are you taking her?
She has invited me to dinner at her apartment on Jameson Street.
Well, you seem pretty happy about it.
Yeah, I'd be a liar if I said I wasn't.
Well, I'm real happy for you. I hope it works out this time. So go on, ask him. Go on, ask him if he didn't write that letter.
Please be seated, Miss Clayton. Counselor, I'm holding you responsible for seeing that your client does not give way to this kind of outburst again.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. You know, you all right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you object so strongly to him sending those notes?
Because they would hurt Viki. They were very unfair to Viki.
Did you feel that those notes possibly weren't necessary?
Look, 2 days before Mitch was supposed to have sent that last letter, Viki called me up. She wanted me to come and talk to her at Landfair, and I had no idea why, because we'd hardly been speaking, and she told me that she had finally accepted the fact that I was her half-sister, and that she also accepted my claim to the Lord name.
That must have made you very happy.
Yeah, it did. I was also very shocked.
Did anyone else witness this conversation?
Clint did. Mr. Buchanan.
So both of them could corroborate your testimony?
Yes.
Well, Mr. Buchanan, I would like to ask you to please stand.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
certainly hope so.
All right. Now let's go back to the events of July the 12th. When did you first see Nicole Smith that day?
I'm not sure of the exact time. I think it was around 2:30 that afternoon.
Where was it?
At the back street bar. It's near the river.
Did you recognize her immediately?
I'm sure she had on the long red wig and everything. She was standing as close to me as you are.
And after she walked in, what happened then?
But at first I was so shocked I really didn't know what to do. Then when Nicole asked for some change to go make a phone call, I followed her, calling out to her, calling Viki. But she wasn't paying any attention to me. She just wanted to speak to Harry O'Neill. I kept trying to tell her who she was, telling her that she was Viki Buchanan, but she wasn't paying attention. She just got real upset, and she just let the phone drop and hang there, and she ran out of the bar. I was so surprised I didn't know what to do, and then But the first thing I did was I called Clinton's office, but I couldn't reach him, so I tried to find out where Nicole lived. And I ran right over there.
And that would be the rooming house at 432 Jameson, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Tina, it's very important. When you got there, was Nicole Smith alone?
She was there with Mitch.
That would be Mitch Lawrence, correct?
Yes, it was him.
Now, I must object. Your Honor, this story is obviously a fabrication. I suggest it has been carefully rehearsed down to the last tearful...
Counselor, if you want to counteract...
I cannot simply...
I'm going to sustain your objection, Mr. Callison.
Exception.
Noted. You must lay your groundwork, Mr. O'Neill.
Just trying to save the court time.
I understand, but nevertheless.
Thank you. Now, Tina, Mr. Callison is obviously not going to let us go in a straight line, so we'll have to back up a little bit.
Objection.
Sustained. Strike counsel's last remarks. Jury will ignore them.
Sorry, Your Honor. Tina, you were obviously surprised to see Mitch at that rooming house. Why was that?
Because he said he was going to be in Miami on business through the 12th.
Did you try to telephone him there?
Yes, I did.
And did you reach him?
Not directly.
Well, what do you mean?
I mean, I called him, but he was never there. I just left a message for him, and he called me back later.
So, you had no way of knowing where those phone calls came from. Is that correct?
That's absolutely right. He could have called me from anywhere, from Inland View, from right around the corner.
Sustained. Strike witness's last answer.
It's all right. I'll rephrase, Your Honor. Tina, you had absolutely no way of ascertaining where those phone calls originated from, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, I must object further. Mr. Lawrence's presence in Miami has been thoroughly established. He signed room service bills. He purchased drinks by the pool. He accepted those telephone messages from
So you followed my instructions to the letter.
I kept a low profile. I didn't get too chummy with anybody.
But you were seen in and around the hotel.
Every day.
Where?
The bar, the coffee shop, restaurant. Mr. Block, this is one of the easiest assignments that I've ever had.
The hotel personnel that got to know you.
Oh, yes, and I signed all the tabs Mitchell Lawrence, like you told me to.
But the fact remains, at no time was my client able to reach Mitchell Lawrence. He could have hired somebody to impersonate him, to sign telephone bills.
Objection.
Sustained.
All right, Tina, we're going to go back to the event.
The actor that was in the movie.
Yeah.
The one that got mugged in the elevator? He knew Mitch.
Just to go
Now
back
that I think about it, it even looked like it.
rephrase and to recap, you arrived at the rooming house at 432 Jamerson. What did you see there? Tina, I'll ask you the question again. What did you see when you arrived at the rooming house?
Whips out the gun. He's going to shoot this guy. You, the heroine that you are, you charge him. You grab the gun. This is how the fingerprints get on the gun, okay? Also explains how the bullet got up in the ceiling. Now, Clint, by the way, is wearing gloves. He's a lot like Mitch. He's a very smart guy, okay? Listen, Harry tries to take off, okay? Clint says, stop! He turns around, ba-boom! Clint shoots him right in the heart.
Tina, please, answer the question. What did you see when you arrived at that rooming house?